Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's go. Let's do this. Time is the money. Here we go, G. Get off the field. 13.
Naeem Hines, his first carry. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here we go.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
11.
This is Hines. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. To throw is Garoppolo. Hard throw, incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
This is taken at the 23. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
He's talking about you. Tell him to right. Three down. Watch the eye. You go up, Porter.
This is Marshall. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point by Seibert up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum down.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 5. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr., and he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. On second down, it's Marshall. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And down to the 29-yard line. 20. Three yards the pickup there.
Brought down by Sean Davis. It's a gain of 23 yards. And the 49ers first down.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
On second down now. It's Marshall. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
Here's Sanders from the gun on third down. Completes it to Samuel. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 14 yards through the air. Caught the D off guard on 3rd and 1.
Hey, box truck. 80 weapons.
Crunch time, defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great play there with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver, and it's second down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Here we go.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on. Begin.
Garoppolo now. They'll try and set up the screen to Hines. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Play action, Garoppolo. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead.
Check. Fresno. Check 13.
Another try after the first down sack. Garoppolo. He's got Smith here. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
I absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows the punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
No. Check. Lucky. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Alert 3.
On first down, Marshall. He's going to have the first down past the 20. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Steelers, nothing.
Now the big play pushes him all the way out to the 40 now for first down.
54's Mike. Check. Watch 54.
Hey, Delta.
Check cross.
Get ready.
Now Sanders from the gun, he'll throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Josh Jackson. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Makes it 3rd and 2.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he is going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process.
Keep playing. Here we go. White. 6 guys. Check 6 guys. Whip.
21. Lock. Hey, orbit. Go ahead.
Garoppolo on first down. That's complete to Hines out of the backfield. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, And that makes this 2nd and 9. Now this throw caught left side. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 36. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Garoppolo. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Now Garoppolo. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
21. Here we go.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
At their own 20-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good with
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The lightning rod, J.J. Watt with a sack.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to throw. Sanders. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That one, a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Back to throw. Sanders going right side here, and that's complete. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Now, we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to go band of brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations, because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Slam! 22 jet bomber. Check safety. Hey, zoom.
To throw is Sanders. Looking to throw on 2nd down. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And across the chalk into the end zone, it's a 49er touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Extra point by Seibert up and good, and it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Let's go!
At their own 24-yard line.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't.
Yeah, Garoppolo lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now.
Makes the score Niners 28, Steelers 0.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
They go play action here on first down. When he finds his target, it's Marquise Goodwin. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 32 that time. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Sanders, off play action. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Come on, set.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
They're running.
5, 6, pull it high. Hey, Sam off. Deep grip.
Now Marshall. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Stop.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Ready?
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. All day, baby, all day. Check.
Sanders now off the play fake. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 for the Niners there and a first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Here I come again.
Ready?
They'll run on first down. It's Marshall. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off?
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Josh Jackson. And he will bring this all the way back out to midfield. Well, they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away.
Here we go.
Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
Let's go.
come on, capitalize on this one.
54.
So after the INT, it's Garoppolo. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Garoppolo looks to throw. Complete. Smith has it. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Hey, Haywood.
Hey, check Mike 57. Mike 57. Hey, tight. 57's the Mike. Watch 57.
Get it.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Here's Sanders to throw from his end zone. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
On the ready.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. To throw from his end zone. Sanders. And that will be incomplete. With that matchup, the adjustment that was made, you have a blazing guy on a blazing guy, and defensively, he won that battle.
The closing speed is the key. When you have a guy that fast and he can close at the end of a play and knock it away, that's a big deal, and we just saw him do it right there.
And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield.
Here we go, here we go. 180!
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up.
21, 21.
Watch the shift.
On first down, it's Hines. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Throwing now is Garoppolo. High throw, but the catch is made. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Throwing again on 2nd down. Garoppolo to the end zone, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Garoppolo got his man. It's Arcega-Whiteside. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard that time. 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 49ers 4-yard line.
Switch gears, switch gears.
They run again with Hines. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
Here we go, here we go. 180!
We ain't beginning to turn.
White.
Don't get nervous. 7's a mic.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And this one is right through. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Sanders, off play action. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 1st down San Francisco, the pickup 14 yards. This quarterback now perfect since the 2nd half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Single. Wide, get wide.
Blue draw quarters. Hey, high 7.
To throw is Sanders, operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Watch twist. Check nickel.
Hey, Echo.
Check right.
Now.
Looking to throw. Sanders. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike. Hey, we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
Go on.
Rush in.
Speed grip.
Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 23-yard line.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Let's go, tight end.
They'll run on first down. Hines, and give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Watch twist.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to lead to a third down.
Mike 7. Here we go.
1, Omaha.
4 down. Check. 4 down.
To throw is Garoppolo. The open man is Smith. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 33. Garoppolo, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Garoppolo to try again on 2nd down. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Garoppolo going to go on 4th down. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could...
Accelerating, and off he goes. 30, past the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. A big play there. 81 leads as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that will extend this big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And last time out, went for it on fourth down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on fourth down.
He's got daylight. 20, 10, and he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. Because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Hey, exit.
Let's put that team on the bus. Check 3, check 3. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up.
They stay on the ground. This is Marshall again. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Keep playing hard.
The Niners on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. On third down, Marshall. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Here we go,
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. Credit that breakup to Greedy Williams. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they've been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a first down. They run with Hines. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there, second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
General West.
They'll go for it. It's Garoppolo. And he's got it. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Irv Smith Jr., his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. The point after is good, and that'll cut the lead down to 18. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Ready, set.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
60 out now.
So the victory here for San Francisco, and this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours, right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer Tim Karen said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for San Francisco, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.